Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary. Doubleheader tonight. Okay, I was going to wait till tomorrow to make this video because that's when the Iranian-Lebanese attack on Israel is going to happen, because they can't do it. First they need to get their assets in place, but then they can't do it until after the funeral, which is on Friday, tomorrow afternoon. So so it would be like sometime Friday night local time, maybe early Saturday morning. The reason that I feel like I might as well just make it now is because I kind of know what's going to happen. I mean, there's these things kind of always play out. If you know how the parties involved work, it ends up being pretty predictable. I mean, eventually something unpredictable happens. Like, who could have predicted October 7th? But then you can usually, I mean, it's usually pretty easy to predict how the Israeli government will react to stuff. So anyway, if you haven't been following, what happened was Israel killed... Okay, first of all, there was this attack, Lebanon launched an attack on Israel, but they must have misaimed or something, because they hit this child soccer match in the Golan, but they weren't Jews who got killed. It was this ethnic group called the Druze. It could get confusing because it kind of sounds like you're saying Jews, but they're Syrian Druze who they're living in an area that's part of the state of Israel. Israel has formally annexed the Golan Heights, although it's not internationally recognized, but they've never accepted Israeli citizenship. They're extremely anti-Israel. So there's no way that Hezbollah was trying to kill them. It was just, I don't know if it was an errant missile or it was bad intelligence or what. I mean, the whole reason, because the north of Israel has been evacuated, but the Jewish areas have, but the Arab areas in Israel and in the Golan haven't been evacuated, because they know that why would Hezbollah shoot them? It doesn't. They wouldn't. It makes no sense. And so they just, like, I mean, it was just a fuck up on Hezbollah's part. So then, so Israel used it, I mean, it was one of the things, Israel kind of used it as an excuse to retaliate, just because it kind of looks bad, because it's still Israeli. I mean, they're still technically under, even though they're enemies, they're still technically under Israel's protection. They probably shouldn't have done anything, but then maybe they were thinking, well, next time, if we don't respond to this, then they'll do something to us next time. So they did the typical Israeli thing, which was to respond in the most cowardly way possible, which is, instead of launching a proper military operation, they just went and assassinated some leaders who, based on what happened yesterday, they could have done this at any time over the last few months, but they didn't, because they were scared. And they did it this time because they think, well, maybe this way Hezbollah and Iran won't retaliate. And that must be who the fuck knows what their game plan is. With everything's 24 hours, 24-hour planning horizon with them. So anyway, they killed the second in command in Hezbollah, and they killed the political leader of Hamas. Killing the second in command in Hezbollah, they maybe could have gotten away with, but then they killed the political guy in Hamas in Iran, in the capital of Iran, on the day their new president was sworn in. So it really looks bad. It just kind of humiliates the Iranian regime. I think the first thing, though, you have to understand is that these attacks have no strategic benefit whatsoever. You can say, okay, well, we brought some terrorists to justice and stuff. Okay, well, then why didn't you do that earlier? Why are you waiting until now? Whatever. It's not completely meritless, but, whatever. But there's no benefit from this. It doesn't. There's not a finite, the leadership of these organizations and states. They just, it's you cut off a head and it grows two more. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so that's the first thing that needs to be established. But then it becomes an issue of how does Iran and Lebanon and others respond, and so they are saying, Iran is saying, and they've been very public about it, that they're going to launch they're kind of the same situation Israel was in. a couple of days ago when there was that attack, that Hezbollah rocket. Israel kind of had to do something. And that's so right now with Iran and Lebanon. They have to do something. I don't think they're going, in fact, I'm pretty certain they're not going to launch a war because they don't, I mean, they're winning the war as it is now, and open conflict doesn't play into their strengths. Also, it would be really hard to provoke Israel into a war. That would be quite a tall order. You'd have to drop like 50 nuclear bombs on it. And who knows if even that would work. So what they're saying is we're just going to launch a massive. They did launch a large missile attack on Israel in April of this year. I think it was in April. So they're going to have to do that again, but this time I guess it's going to be larger. But they kind of need to draw some blood to make it to show that we got it back for it to be known. Now with Netanyahu, basically went on TV and said, like, you have to read between the lines with him because he's such a fucking snake. He basically said in so many words to Iran and Lebanon, as long as you only hit military targets, we won't do anything. That's, as long as you only hit military and government targets, we won't do anything. And he didn't say it, but you could kind of between the lines, again, if you between the lines, it goes, he was saying maybe if you just kill a few civilians and a few soldiers, but not too many, we know you have to kill some, but if you don't, if you just don't kill too many, then we won't respond. Now, I mean, not that we will, Israel have to do some kind of token response, but it'll be like it was in April, where it was a token response, and it clearly Iran and Lebanon won the exchange. Or it was really just Iran. Lebanon didn't get involved last time. This time it'll be Lebanon will be involved. The militias from Iraq and Syria will be involved. Yemen will probably do at least something. It's tough to tell with them. They're so far away, and they have to use drones, so it's it's kind of a mess. But I think that'll be the end of it. It'll be 6 hours. There'll be the launches. They'll get it. Most will get intercepted. Some will get in. It'll cause massive damage, but and some deaths, but it won't be that big a deal. Israel will do some complete bullshit non-response. Both sides will declare victory, but everybody will know that Iran and Lebanon won. Really, and this is the thing is, if you know who Bibi Netanyahu is, if you know the shitbird faggot pieces of trash who run the IDF are, there's never going to be an Israeli response. Now, when the current leadership is gone, and they will be soon, thank God, then you'll see an Israeli response. But that's probably not going to happen until October. So we've got a few more months of this nonsense. That's all for now. See you in the next.